As we go through our spiritual awakening, we are moving away from focusing on the outside to focusing on the world that is opening up on the inside. And as we do this, it is crucial to know some basics about self-observation. Because otherwise, how are we going to understand what we actually find on the inside and how it corresponds to our experience on the outside? Hello from Sweden, and welcome to Everyday Mystic, an aid to your liberation. My name is David, and I hope that you're feeling well and that you're having a good day. Now, here is something to ponder. What does the question, "Who am I?" really mean? You've probably heard the question many times, but have you actually sat down and think consciously about what it means? Or is it just some vague idea in your head, or maybe just even empty words? Because something that we are going to realize more and more as we are going through our spiritual awakening is that we are developing an actual relationship with ourselves. Have you thought, if you haven't, this is something that you need to cultivate more and more? You know other people, you have a relationship with other people, and there is something important about how you cultivate this relationship. But for some reason, we neglect to cultivate the relationship with the only individual that is with us all the time. So let's talk about some aspects of what it means to know ourselves. First of all, when you start observing yourself, you will see that you don't act consistently, and this is true for other people as well, because we have different part personalities. Teachers within the fourth way tradition call this different I's. But I actually like the term part personalities better because it more clearly points to what we are actually talking about. Namely, different personalities, different wills that want to make their voices heard in different occasions that you find yourself in. And it is crucial to understand that this is something that, from the normal perspective that we are approaching life from, this is totally normal. You don't have a split personality disorder. Another thing is that when you observe yourself, and now I'm talking from my own experience, but I am very confident that unless you're enlightened, you have similar aspects in your own life. So, you are not aware of your own behavior. You are not even aware what you're saying. Usually you're not even aware of what you're thinking. And yet your thought passes through your head and affect how you behave and speak out into the world. So there is a big correlation here with what you have in your inner life and how you act out into the world. And usually when we go through our normal sleeping state, we are not really aware of this. We just go around and think that we make conscious choices when we are really just reacting automatically. And this brings us to our next point. We are not usually aware of the motivations behind our actions and words. It will take some time of observing yourself to actually notice this. But this is something that you will eventually notice when you look at yourself and ask yourself, why did I truly do that? Why did I say that? Why, for example, did I engage in gossip or spreading secrets or whatever it is? And you might find that you want to make yourself look more interesting, you want to assert your superiority over others, and when you do assert your superiority, you might also realize that this stems from an inferiority complex, for instance. Again, I'm using something that I've found within myself as examples. You will have to find your own examples of this, but you will more and more start to realize just how much unconscious dysfunctional behavior and speech that is present in your day-to-day experience and in your day-to-day interactions with the world. You don't really know the motivations behind your actions and words. Often you don't really even know what you mean with what you're saying. You don't really know what the words that you are using truly mean, and you don't really know what you want to get at with what you're saying. Your mouth just goes off and babbling like this. Also, in this, you don't know what you're aiming for. And this is actually something that I'm going to make a whole video about, so I'm just going to touch on the subject. But most people go around their day-to-day lives in a very aimless manner. They just do this and that, and they don't really know why. This has been true for me for most of my life, and it is still true with a lot of things in my life that I'm now trying to clean out. And this is important. We need to stop just reacting unconsciously and start to clean out this. But we also need to be kind to ourselves, because we have a lot of faulty programming. We didn't know that it was instilled in us when it was, but now we are going to approach life from a more conscious manner, and as we do, we will need to start cleaning ourselves. So, a first crucial requisite for all of this is mindfulness. Mindfulness, mindfulness, mindfulness. Because you are not going to do anything as long as you're off somewhere else, worrying about the future or caught up in regrets of the past, or just thinking unconscious, repetitive thoughts about how much you don't like the present moment. All of these things have to go. It is a process, it is gradual. We all have our baggage that we carry around when it comes to this. So it's not always easy. Again, be kind to yourself, because you didn't know what you were doing when you created this faulty programming. Otherwise, you would have never done it, but it's still your responsibility to start cleaning it up. So if you are going to truly become aware of all of these things that I just mentioned, you need to be mindful, you need to be present in the moment, you need to actually be aware of what is going on around you, of what is going on inside you, of the thoughts that you are actually thinking, and how they are affecting your emotions, and how they are affecting your behavior, and how they are affecting what you say to other people. Don't judge yourself. I'm going to repeat this many times. Don't judge yourself in this process. Maybe you will find some really nasty aspects of your ego. I know that I did. I was shocked when I found out who I truly was. Or actually who my ego truly was. But I was identified with the ego. When you start de-identifying with the ego, you also start to come more in contact with your real, truer, higher self, which is more in direct contact with this oneness that you on the absolute most fundamental level share with God. Because you are a divine spark of God, you are a divine spiritual being, but as long as you are identified with the ego, you will not see this. And now that you know this, you can start to more and more uncover all of the shenanigans of the ego and how much chaos it creates in your life. But just by understanding this distinction, you have made a crucial step towards freeing yourself. But your ego, as long as you have it, it is there whether you like it or not. But it is just your ego. It is just your ego. It is not your true, eternal, higher self. It's the baggage that you've collected, at least throughout this lifetime, probably throughout many lifetimes before this. And the best thing you can do is to just acknowledge this. But as I said, don't judge yourself. All you will accomplish with judging yourself is that you feel bad, and since you don't want to feel bad, you start to sweep what you find under the rug. You are a divine spark of God's infinite consciousness. That is what you are at the absolute most fundamental level. Nothing is ever going to take that away from you. And this is how you need to look at yourself. Not as all of this filth that you on an unconscious level have attracted towards yourself throughout your lifetime. As I said, I first was shocked when I found out all of the baggage that I had took on. And I also identified myself with this. What I saw was a whiny, manipulative, self-centered, self-indulgent, pleasure-seeking piece of crap. No, actually, I'm not a piece of crap. I, just like you, am a divine part of God. But I have accrued a lot of baggage, and some of that baggage is very firm attached to my body, metaphorically speaking, of course, and some of that which is really firm attached will also be quite painful to remove. But what else am I going to do? What else are you going to do? Are you going to just allow all of this crap that is part of your ego to taint your life experience? Are you going to allow this to taint how you act into the world? Are you going to allow this to taint your relationship with yourself and your relationship with other people? So what about you? Once you get this wake-up call, you don't have much choice. You realize that what I'm talking about here is something very real. You cannot go back from it without having this gnawing sensation that you are deluding yourself. And I know that it's hard to break habits, because this is essentially what you need to do once you start finding out about this. Do it when you can. Don't beat yourself up when you fail with it. Just try better the next time, or fail again, it's okay. There is no final judgment in this. Just to the best of your ability, get up and keep going. But the first crucial step is just to become aware of all of these automatic patterns, both when it comes to your thoughts, when it comes to your behaviors, and when it comes to how you speak and act into the world. What you probably will find out is, for example, that you might unconsciously be expressing a lot of negativity as you speak. I know that this was a huge problem for me. I still fall into this trap now and again, but I am becoming better at it. And know this, that this complaining, whining expression of negativity is not leading anywhere. It's just your ego displaying dissatisfaction with what you're having in your life right now, which also prevents you from focusing on what is actually positive. And it also gets all of the people around you down. So this is a good example of a habit that is not that difficult to start breaking. And as you do this, you will also see how your thoughts start to change more and more. You will more and more start to focus on the positive in what you are thinking about when you stop expressing negativity in your speech. This is just one little example, but You can find more and more of these examples as you observe yourself, as you observe your mechanicalness, as you observe all of the reactivity that you will inevitably find within yourself unless you are enlightened. Don't judge yourself. You will stumble and fall. You are not here to be perfect. And we all have our baggage to carry. But you can choose how you treat your failures. Will you feel ashamed and therefore sweep the next failure under the rug, forgetting that you are a divine spark of God's infinite consciousness? Or will you laugh with yourself at your brave but clumsy attempt to clean yourself out, and therefore actually open up for the opportunity to learn from the experience, to understand yourself a little better after the experience, and therefore be a little more prepared when the next opportunity to stumble and fall comes along? And that's it for today. If you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment and share the video on social media and other places. All of it helps the channel to grow. And if you haven't done it already, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so YouTube always notifies you of new videos. And check out the description and the comment section for other things that me and my wife are doing. And other than that, just sincerely thank you for your time.